Hey vinyl community, welcome back to another episode of RB's Vinyl Corner. I'm really happy and excited that you came back to watch one of my videos, and I hope you will continue doing so. Trying to make this channel as diverse as possible, but not just focusing on only Elvis Presley, but also showing you some other stuff that I really like. And one of the things that I really like is a Dutch rock band which is called Golden Earring. And they are like the oldest rock band that is still around these days. They are existing for 53 years. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary 3 years ago in 2015. And they are still very active today. Still performing whole year through and always sold out performances. It's really amazing if you think about this, that these guys are in their 70s already and they are still so active. It's incredible. The reason why I wanted to do another Golden Earring video, you might have seen 2 or 3 videos before on my channel, especially when you are visiting my channel on a regular basis. You might have seen them. Maybe you skipped those because you don't know the Golden Earring. If you don't know the Golden Earring, I would highly suggest check them out because it's a pretty good rock band with a very unique sound. The reason why I'm making this video is because recently the Dutch music label Music on Vinyl, specializing on re-releasing beautiful albums on vinyl, re-released the album Millbrook USA, which is one of the albums that I didn't have in my vinyl collection yet, because it's very hard to find, and if you do find a copy of that one, it's very expensive because it came out in 2003. And as you probably know, vinyl releases were very limited in those days. So the ones that are already sold out becomes very expensive very fast. So I was very happy because I have a very extensive collection of Golden Earring records, but the ones that are actually missing in my vinyl collection are the ones that came out in the second half of the 90s throughout the end of the 2000s. So that one, I just recently got that and I wanted to show you that, and I'm going to show you that one on the end of this video. And I was thinking that it was also a nice idea to show you the other music on vinyl releases of Golden Earring albums. Now, I don't have all the music on vinyl re-releases because a couple of them that I already had the originals of, I saw no use in buying them on the Music on Vinyl label. But the ones that they were releasing the last couple of years are beautiful. They are absolutely beautiful because they releases them in a limited run on colored vinyl, and they really do a good job on that, and I want to show you some of those. So I'm going to start with the first one that came out in the original release date of this one is 1991, and it's called Bloody Buccaneers. So this was the first album the Earrings recorded in the 90s, and this basically was a return to their rock sound, and a rock album this really is. It's fantastic. This one was released as part of the Record Store Day of 2017 on gold vinyl. Of course, there are also other pressings on black vinyl, but the gold vinyl was special release for Record Store Day, and that's the one that I got. It's also numbered, so if I'm going to show you the flip side here, you can see that it's numbered here, and I've got number 570. It's a fantastic album, really a great album. It really was a return to rock, and it became a big hit here in the Netherlands, especially the song Going to the Run, which opens the B-side on this album, was a smash hit in the Netherlands. Became a #1 hit for the Golden Earring. So this is Bloody Buccaneers. Now, as you can see, probably on the video, you can see it's very glossy. One of the things that I really like about the Music on Vinyl re-releases of these Golden Earring albums are the fact that they are doing this on such nice, glossy and sturdy sleeves. Really beautiful. The artwork of this one is great. I always liked it, and it always was one of my, and still is by the way, one of my most played Golden Earring records ever. Like all the other ones that are released by Music on Vinyl, it comes with an inner sleeve containing all the lyrics to the songs, and of course some of the credits on the flip side. But the most beautiful thing about these are, of course, like I said before, is the vinyl itself. In this case, beautiful gold vinyl. I'm going to show you here. Really nice. I really like this one. It's really cool. And let me tell you that the sound of this album is fantastic. Take a look at the label. It's a classic Columbia label, which is of course part of Sony Music. This was the older department of Sony, and they released their albums with nice red Columbia labels. Again, this is Bloody Buccaneers. I'm not going to tell you too much about the songs itself, just want to show you all these beautiful re-releases. Very nice. Alright, so this is a great album. Again, if you want to get to know the Earrings, that's an album to go to. The other one, I did a special video on this one a while ago, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago. I did a full video on this one, so if you want to review it and you want to hear some sound clips from this album, I would suggest you go and find that episode on my channel. But this actually, this was my first golden earring record that I ever got. When this one came out in 1993, I remember I was just like 15 years old, and there were a lot of commercials on the television about this album, and the song Another 45 Miles had a lot of airplay, and I was really hooked by the sound and by that music and by the vocals of both singers. So I collected some pocket money. I went to a record store and bought the cassette tape, because back in the day that was the most cheapest option to obtain an album, was by cassette. So I got the cassette and I played it crazy. So in the meantime, I have this on multiple formats, on CD, a different kind of CDs, different special editions. I have it on DVD, and of course this wonderful vinyl album that was released a couple of years ago to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Concerto, which is a music store in Amsterdam, which is one of the biggest stores in the Netherlands. And you might have seen me going to that store in one of my previous videos. So to celebrate that, they made 500 copies of this album on clear vinyl. So let me show you that, because again, this is really, really beautiful. Again, like the other album, it came with a inner sleeve. And so for the ones who didn't see that golden earring video I did before, it's a double album. And I'm just going to show you one of the two. It has a beautiful label. Again, this was released on the Columbia label, but in this case they chose to use the artwork for the label itself. And like I told you, just look at this beautiful, very, very clear vinyl. And again, like the Bloody Buccaneers album, the sound of this one is crazy good. It's really crazy good. It's really, really good. So this album actually is an unplugged album, and let me tell you that the golden earring, they made playing unplugged and acoustic an art form on its own. They're really, really fantastic in doing so. And this album sold so well and caused a lot of demand of acoustic performances that this one actually made them starting doing theater tours alongside their electric tours throughout the country for many, many years. Really, really nice album. This is The Naked Truth. This is by far my most favorite golden earring record. It's a live record, but it's a very, very good one. So again, like Bloody Buccaneers is a very good one, but if you want to have an introduction in golden earring, this would also very, very well be the one to go to. So The Naked Truth, a couple of years later, in between The Naked Truth and the next one, there were a couple of other releases. They recorded another studio album which was called Face It, which has never been released on vinyl before, so there is no vinyl version of that one around. And then after that, they recorded a full cover album. So they did one album that consisted of a lot of covers. It's called Love Sweat, and that one also didn't have a vinyl release before. So I'm hoping that music on vinyl, and I'm absolutely sure it will happen as well, will also release these albums on vinyl. That would make my life really wonderful. But the tour of the Love Sweat album spawned another Naked Truth album. In this case, it's called Naked 2. And this album, again, a live album, and acoustic performances of their greatest hits, was released this year during Record Store Day on red vinyl. So if you have seen my my record store videos a couple of months ago, then you probably already have seen this one. If not, I'm going to show you now. Again, this one is numbered 658, and like the other ones, again, it comes with a beautiful insert. with the credits on one side, and on the other side this drawing. And I remember I also have the original CD release of this one, and the original CD has this one also as a tattoo, and I still have that one in the CD. But again, it's the vinyl which is so beautiful, because in this case it's beautiful red vinyl. And red vinyl seemed to be kind of a theme during the last record store day, because a lot of albums during the last record store day here this year were actually released on red vinyl. I particularly like the label very much on this one. This one was released on Universal Music, and you can see the Universal logo over there. I love this label. I don't know why. I think it's very effective. So again, great work by Music on Vinyl by re-releasing this album. Actually, this was the first time ever that this album was released on vinyl anyway. It was released on LP or on CD and on DVD, but never on vinyl. So this is the first time it came out on vinyl. And again, beautiful glossy sleeve. Love this album. Played it yesterday, I played it again, and it's really wonderful. Also, the sound on this one is fabulous. A couple of other releases came right after this one. We had Paradise in Distress, had never a vinyl release before. Then we had Millbrook USA. It's the one which was just re-released. That one did have a vinyl release, but it's sold out and it's really expensive if you find an original copy. But the re-release that just came out through the Music on Vinyl label is gorgeous, really. But I'm gonna keep that for last. The last studio album they did is already from 2012. They're not really active anymore in recording albums. They do tour very extensively, but re-recording new stuff seems to be a rare thing these days. But this was the last full studio album they did in 2012. It's called Tits and Ass. And as you can see, the artwork is a little similar to what you can expect from the Unplugged albums, but this album is far from Unplugged. It's full electric and it rocks very well. They released it on double vinyl with a nice gatefold cover here. And it's a very long album. It's got a lot of songs, but again, like I told you, like all the other albums, it comes with a nice inner sleeve that contains all the lyrics again. But like the other albums, the beauty of this one, other than the beautiful glossy covers, of course, is the vinyl. And let me show you this, because this got multiple colors. Look at this, really cool. I really love this one. The splatter look, the blue and the marble, and then again a very nice label. This again was released on the Universal label, but they used the artwork here on the label, and I totally love it. So that's really crazy, and the album is really good. I really like that one. So the other one has the same color, kind of like splatter blue, double album. It's really a good album. Again, a very rocking Golden Earring album. Then in 2015 they celebrated their 50th anniversary, and they celebrated it with a compilation album. This is a 3-disc LP set that contains songs from the very early beginnings in 1965 all the way to 2015, and songs from Tits and Ass. Some of the songs on this album appeared on vinyl for the first time on this one, and it's a beautiful one. I got number 7. It's a very limited edition on color vinyl, and you can also see the gold lettering here. The black versions and the regular versions don't have that. It's just like gold colored, but not the Foley gold like this one. And it came as a 3 CD set. And it has a booklet also inside that contains some liner notes and a lot of picture stuff. And that. Again, if you want to see more of this album, you can also go and find the video I did on this one with some video footage as well. And this one again, this was released by Red Bullet label, which is actually their own label, and wonderful gold vinyl. And every label has a part of the Golden Earring logo, and it has a picture on it as well. So a very nice album, very nice compilation album, again with very good sounding songs on it. It's great to listen to this because here you can really hear the evolution of the Earrings. When they started in 1965, it was like a beat band. Songs like Please Go, Dong Dong Dickie Dickie Dong, Daddy Buy Me a Girl, those are typical 60s beat songs. Toward the end of the 60s, they started to progress into more like a psychedelic sound. And then starting from 1970 with their smash hit Back Home, they started to develop a more hard rocking sound. So it's really cool to hear the evolution of the Earrings on this album. The last studio recordings they did, already 2015, also to commemorate on their 50th anniversary, they came up with an album or a mini album or EP, which is called The Hague. The Hague, of course, is the place where the Earrings came from. And this is a beautiful one. It got 5 brand new songs. And also here, the first run of this came out as a very limited colored edition. In this case, I got myself number 785, limited to 1000. A nice inner sleeve or an inner insert with the lyrics and a picture of the band still alive and kicking today. And then, of course, nice transparent red vinyl, in this case with a nice red universal label. This is a 10-inch EP. Really cool and really nice. I really wish they would come up with a new album as an extension of this one, because I think actually, in my honest opinion, that this actually is the best studio material they came up with since their 1995 album Face It. Not to say that all the others aren't as great, but this is really the best since that album, I think, in my honest opinion. So if they would release something like this, that would be amazing. And then to the conclusion of this video, my latest edition that I just got, which is Millbrook, USA. The title of the album, Millbrook, USA, is actually the place where they recorded this album in the United States. But the fun thing about this is the typical windmill from Holland. So Golden Earring, this album was released in 2003, and I got myself a limited edition. This is number 876, and if I'm correct, but I have to look it up, yes, it's limited to 1,500 pieces. So at a certain point this will be sold out. Got great songs. The big hit from this album back in the day was Albino Moon, but it's got some very nice rocking songs like The Hammer of Love and Skyscraper, Hell of a Town. Really nice. One of the other songs that I really like from this one is The Last Frontier Hotel, which is greatly sung by George Coymans, which is the other singer of the band. Golden Earring, yes. So this also came with a nice insert, some pictures, and I do have this CD, but I never got me the vinyl, so I'm happy to have the vinyl version of this as well. And then if we take a look at the vinyl itself, this time they chose beautiful blue vinyl. There you go. Again, Universal, recorded on Universal label, but the label here has the artwork of the album, and that's the same kind of like an artwork that's also on the CD version of this. So nice, and I'm really happy to have been able to add this one now to my growing Golden Earring collection. I don't have all the albums yet. I'm still missing a couple of the early albums. I think the first 2 albums I'm still missing.